Sarah, whatever will be, will be. I don't know whether the story was written for the Black Stars of Ghana or they wrote their own story at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. But if you ask me, I think the latter is the scenario. Welcome to Sport Africa. Yesterday at the AFCON, and of course, previewing games that are on the card today. Not a sweet story for the Black Stars of Ghana. Crashed out of the 2023 AFCON, just like it was at the group stages in the 2021 AFCON. And yesterday, we saw some not very palatable sights at the AFCON, particularly in the mixed zone, where you saw journalists, particular journalists, yelling at Chris Hughton as he was walking into the locker room, calling him a useless coach. Kyle and James, we are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's always a pleasure coming here.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Happy to be on today's edition.
Okay. Kyle, I want you to paint that picture when we get to that of the Black Stars. But let's start with Nigeria. Of course, they secured qualification into the round of 16, but not in a manner Nigerians will have wanted. James, 1-0 it ended, and a lot of people were expecting them maybe to just roll over Guinea-Bissau, but it was never. It was a very, very, well, close to something that you would call abysmal, so to say.
Well, for me, I think the Super Eagles that we are seeing now is the one that just the hard-working Super Eagles team. It's not the free-flowing, tiki-taka kind of Super Eagles. What they do, they just grind out results and just get the job done. That's what they are doing now. The way they started the competition was not impressive. But everything now they just had to work hard to get their result and move on. So let's just hope that as now they've qualified for the round of 16. Let's see whether hopefully it will be like growing into the tournament. Because for what I've observed about the team now is that the goalkeeping department looks sorted out for now. It looks sorted out. The defense for me seems to be the strongest because considered just 1 goal in 3 games. But the scoring opportunities, creating chances, still an issue in the team, putting away chances. Well, let's just hope that they will sort all these things out, because this is just the group stage. You are getting to the knockout stage, and you know that any mistake and you are out. So congratulations to them, despite the fact that they started on a not too good note, but at least they've progressed from the group stage.
Of course, I think the problem with the Super Eagles of Nigeria is the midfield. They lack a great creative midfield, and I remember Daniel Amokachi has actually raised that issue after their 1-1 draw with Equatorial Guinea. Kaude, it was a very disastrous one for the host, Cote d'Ivoire, and we saw the fans vent their anger after the game, destroying buses, buses designed for the 2023 AFCON. In recent times, I don't think we've seen a host being disgraced like that. 4-0. There's something in this Equatorial Guinea side that we are not seeing, and the coach has said that they're just beginning.
Well, they are probably the ones benefiting from what I always call the tournament bounce. Femi, you see teams coming to competitions, they do well in the game, and they'll suddenly have the self-belief that, I think we can go all the way. But apart from what Equatorial Guinea have been able to do over 3 games, I think the only game where they did not have an out-and-out upper hand was the game against Nigeria in their first game. Against Guinea-Bissau, they totally dominated. Yesterday against the host country, I don't know whether you saw the game. I was watching on 2 screens, and I tell you that 4-0 was even flattered the host. It should have been more than 4. And there are players in that team that if I were whoever is going to coach the team going forward, because I'm very sure this coach has lost his job since yesterday, I think there are some players who doesn't have any business coming close to the national team. I saw Didier Drogba nearly have an heart attack yesterday. He was bolting out of his seat every minute, and it was not a pretty sight. But I wasn't surprised for me. Remember, I told you after their first game that this team, Even before the first game, when the team list came out, I said this team is
I
not as
remember you
strong.
said so.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
this team is not as strong as you would expect. I guess at the end of the day, the host country were busy preparing for the competition. They were not preparing their team to play in the competition.
Mm.
We were like the for me in the group, they were like the worst team. They were lucky to just beat Guinea-Bissau, and I'm sure if they have to play that Guinea-Bissau again, they might not be that lucky to win truly. So for me, it is not about. I was shocked with the reaction of the fans because I put calls through to Abidjan yesterday, and from what I learned, it wasn't a pretty sight. Some of the journalists had to remove their tags on their way from the stadium because they were just beating everybody outside. So
Mm.
for me, it wasn't a pretty thing. It's one of the dark sides of this AFCON. As much as we have been praising the Ivorians for putting on a very, very impressive show, for me, this was not what we expected. I mean, the Ivorians have gone to other countries to take the lead, to take the competition. They've gone to do very well in other countries. So if you and you should also spare the thought that other countries were hosting when you won. So you should
Mm.
think about that. So you
Okay.
should think about that. So for me, it's not something, that's a day for African football, and it's not
Mm.
something that we should be talking about.
Okay. The Ivorian government actually declared yesterday as a public holiday in order to galvanize support for the elephants, but certainly the elephants they just couldn't do their thing. Guys, let's talk about Group B. That was where the heartbreak was yesterday. And this the sad thing, Kyle, I want you to paint this picture as like I humorously say, half Ghanaian, half Nigerian, to paint the picture of what an average Ghanaian football fan will be feeling this morning. The Ghanaians were leading 2-0 and under 3 minutes. 3 minutes from 90th minute to before the end of the whistle, they let in two goals. How did that happen? And
Uh,
I always say that a lot of coaches will be losing their jobs after this AFCON. And I think that Chris Hughton will certainly be one of them because he wouldn't be able to to hold the pressure.
Again, the nature of football is so annoying that it is the coach alone that is going to probably carry the count for what has happened. But Femi, I tell you, every player on the pitch that yesterday who was not able to help Ghana defend a 2-0 advantage over
Against
Mozambique
Mozambique.
do not deserve to wear that. And it's so apparent that you're going to notice that even when they were 2-0 up, they were not comfortable. It shows that that team is very, very damaged. It shows that they were short on confidence. It shows that what I kept talking about even since the countdown days, that I fear this is a repeat of what happened in 1998 was going to
Mm.
happen when their neighbors, Burkina Faso hosted, and they crashed out on the first round, and that this is likely going to happen. It happened now, but this is even much more worse than it happened in 1998 because then they were not defending a two-goal advantage. And in 3 minutes, Femi, are you telling me Ghana cannot get without a coach? It shouldn't be that bad. If they had lost a 2-0 advantage against Senegal, against Cameroon, against Morocco, or even Nigeria, given the rivalry between the two countries, that is understandable. But Femi, without any disrespect to Mozambique, if you cannot keep a 2-0 advantage against Mozambique for 3 minutes,
Mm.
when you lost, when you considered the first goal, I felt, oh, just see this game through. That's all you needed to do. You don't even need a coach, Femi. Some of these things are how do I say it? So commonsensical that you know that we should be able to defend a one goal advantage. You can compare them with now you understood why Cape Verde were able to beat them. Look at Cape Verde. They considered a goal and went straight back to go and score.
Equalize. Mm.
That is, yeah, for me, a team could have a bad day in one game, but over 3 games, I mean, they lost to Cape Verde. We thought it was a fluke. They drew against Egypt, one of their best games anyway. Why can't you find that consistency to play against Mozambique? The two goals they had, forget whether they came through the penalty row. We had two good goals. They were two good
Mm.
goals, two
Yeah.
penalties spot on. I do not have a business with those two. But credit to the Mozambicans, so Femi, that they never give up, even though they knew the chances of going through were very, 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 very limited. They still fought until the final. So for me, Group
Okay.
Two B was a group to group of attraction for last night.
Okay. James, I just allow you to say something about it because we've said something about this Ghanaian team all over and over and over again, particularly about Chris about keeping his job after the AFCON. They said Thunder doesn't strike twice. He struck Ghana twice, yesterday, 2021, now 2023 again. And I think it's going to be, I don't know whether these players will be able to return to Accra because the journalist yesterday, Sadiq Adams particularly, was so furious. They were saying that that journalists will begin the sack right there in Africa because they wouldn't wait until the players and even the coach gets to Ghana, James.
It's unfortunate that just like what Kylie said, it's unfortunate that every attack will now be geared towards the coach. But I mean, without the coach there, I expected these guys to see how the game 2-0, even 1-0, even I don't mean it was even 1-0. I mean, these are professionals who should be able to see how the game. Okay, when they played against Super Eagles in the qualifiers, I mean, Super Eagles needed just one win, but they were able to do that. But I mean, I think the qualification for the World Cup gave the Black Stars, it gave the fans the false hope. The team is in terrible shape, terrible shape. I mean, it was just in the 90th minute they were still 2 goals up. Even when they considered, what you needed to do was just sit back and then kill off the game. They did the same thing against Egypt. I mean, they just lack this. I don't know. Everything is just lacking about this team, and I don't know where they are going from here. It's not even. I think it's even gone beyond just hiring and firing coaches. Most of these guys are just not it. If you look at the Jordan Ayew that was brought in, that we all expect to at least bring some calm and assurance about. I don't know. He picked up a yellow card and got the penalty, and it was just downhill from there. So I don't know. A lot of work needs to be done. And some players too need to check themselves. They just have to check themselves because you can't keep on shouting the coach. What are the players doing? These are professionals who are experienced enough. So I mean, it's a very sad one. Not good at all for Black Stars.
I think there will also be a lot of flushing out of some players in that national team because that is what some Ghanaians are clamoring for on social media. Let's talk about Egypt versus Cape Verde. We cannot take anything away from both teams. We were expecting that Cape Verde will just even, step back a bit, haven't qualified for the round of 16 games, and they almost wanted to send the Egyptians home again.
Femi, I think what they did yesterday was to prove to everybody that whether they've qualified or not, they want to show that it was not a fluke, that they've already qualified, that the victories they got was something they worked out for, and the Egyptians will be thanking their stars because even the goal that they scored was debatable. It was, I don't know, maybe because of the camera angle that we couldn't really see if it was
like a handball, right?
Yes.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't an handball.
It wasn't a handball.
Yeah, but it was, like you said, debatable, but it wasn't an handball.
So, but kudos to them that they still went back and scored and equalized. Like, it goes to show that this is a team that had character. The Egyptians should not be thanking their stars because even their 3 points, I think when Mozambique won, I mean, their 3 points will be shaky now. But luckily for them, Mozambique could not get the final third goal against Ghana. So it was a good advertisement for African football. I mean, this competition has been action-packed. The small teams have shown that they can play also. So the big teams to know that they have their hands full. Mozambique, even Guinea-Bissau that crashed out. I mean, they've done themselves a whole world of good. You see, have Equatorial Guinea still in the competition. Cape Verde, I've never seen them play this good. That's why the fact that they were in the group that had former champions, they took them out. So I just hope that they were able to continue. Because they even had to make some changes in the team, and it was still the thing. So it goes to show that this is a team that is well drilled and ready for this competition, and hopefully we'll see them go far in the competition.
Okay, so we need to keep an eye on Equatorial Guinea and Cape Verde in this competition. What keeps eating me is the fact that 85% of Ghanaians were not born the last time the Black Stars won the AFCON in 1982. That's something to really worry about. And like I said before the kickoff of this AFCON, that Dr. Kloto Kraku was lucky that the GFA election took place before the AFCON. If it was going to be after the AFCON, that would have been used as a parameter in his election. Let's talk about actions that will be coming up in Group C today. The Gambia versus Cameroon. If care is not taken, the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon might also be joining Ghana on their way. Now, Ivory Coast, they do not even know their fate yet, so they have to wait. And the Black Stars, the Indomitable Lions, I should say, they have all to do in this game. So much happened even during the week. There was a report that Onana and Samuel Eto'o have not spoken since the incident that happened at the World Cup in 2022 in Qatar. So much distraction in the camp of Cameroon, but they need to win this game. At least with 4 points, at least they have a brighter hope than Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, they need to. If they had that, this game will go down to how determined the Cameroonians are to advance, because all their work is cut out. All they need to do is just win the game by any margin, by whatever, even if it's by 0.5. They just need to win to be sure that they are going to go through. That, regardless of whatever it is that happens in the other group, they just have to win and win well. So for me, and that means that by implication, if they win and the Guinea are well beaten by Senegal, that means the Lions of Cameroon could actually be setting up a round of 16 date with Nigeria. That is the implication, that they could be setting up a date with Nigeria. I don't know whether that's good for them or bad, given how everybody has performed at this competition. But then again, if they are not able to beat Gambia, Femi, then they have to beat this competition. I'm not sorry to say it, because Gambia have lost their games.
All their first two games, yeah.
Their games. Now you know that they are the ones standing between you and continue to stay in the competition. So if they do not or are not able to beat Gambia, I say, Femi, they deserve to be on their way home. It's as simple. See, Femi, I like this. I like scenarios like this when your destiny is in your hands. Like I was saying yesterday, I said the problem with Ghana is their destiny is out of their hands. That even if they had won, they still have to wait for the result of the other games in order to
even when Cape Verde helped them, they still could not do the needful.
Now, even when Cape Verde helped them, they couldn't do it. So now, Cameroon's destiny is in their own hands. Regardless of what happens in the other game, once they win 10-0 or 1-0, they are through to the next round. No doubts about that.
Okay.
If they win, even if Senegal goes on to lose to Guinea-Bissau, at least they will be sure of a third spot in the group, which will be enough. With 4 points, they should be through from that group. So, Femi, nobody needs to motivate anybody in this group. For Cameroon, I'm talking about Cameroon. Nobody needs to motivate them. Their destiny in their own hands. Whatever they choose to do is entirely up to them. So if they do not beat Gambia to qualify, then all of them should be disbanded and sent home in shame. That's simple.
Okay. All right. James, let's talk about the other game, Senegal, Guinea. Guinea have 4 points, and just a draw against the Senegal will see them through as the second automatic qualification in the group. You would also expect the Senegalese at least to step back a bit, at least wouldn't put all the arsenal in this game. They haven't qualified for the round of 16 already.
Yeah, but this will also be looking at topping the group, because no matter how well you play, you still might want to be avoiding some of the major teams, because when you get to the round of knockout stage, the performance in the group stage is always different from the performance in the knockout stage. We've seen teams who did badly in the group stage but went all the way. Super Eagles didn't do well in 2013 in the group stage. They went all the way to win the AFCON. Egypt too, they had a shaky start last time. They went all the way to the final. We saw how Portugal won the Euros. They drew all their group game, but they went on. So sometimes you might have a bad group stage performance, but for me, the spirit in the knockout stage is always different.
Tournament bounds, yeah.
Super Eagles had a very good group stage performance in the last AFCON, but Tunisia managed to qualify with just 3 points. they took the Super Eagles out. So for me, Senegal, Guinea. I'm looking at a draw because the Guineans too. They know that they have their own destiny. They are not relying on anybody. So 5 points is enough for them. But who say they cannot even go on and win the game and top the group? I think that's where the whole permutation sets in now. So like I said, I'm looking out for a draw. The Ghanaians, you might want to give it to the Senegalese, but I think the Ghanaians will do enough to go. They know the importance of this game. The most important is the game against when they played against Cameroon, 1 man down. I mean, they showed character. I think that was the turning point for the group. I don't mean they lost that a different ball game, but they were able to hold on, get a draw, won the second game, and now they are poised to meet Senegal, the best team for me so far in that group. So I see them getting a result in that group and finish automatically alongside them.
Okay, the Group D. Of course, we have Mauritania versus Algeria. This is more like the Gambia versus Cameroon. Mauritania, they are mathematically out of the competition, and Algeria have 2 points. A win in this game will just maybe cover their unimpressive performances so far in the group stage and make it to the next round. So it to be expected that the Desert Foxes will do the needful against Mauritania, who also have this fighting spirit in them.
Femi, one thing I have to say for this competition as a whole, that almost all of the teams have accredited themselves well. Maybe not all of them have gotten the results they deserve or desire, but no team has, like, even when you see teams losing 3-0, like Gambia lost to Senegal, you still have this feeling that, they deal well. The results might not show it, but at least they prove that they could make it with the reigning champions. The only team, as far as I'm concerned, that's not shown too much, I would tell you, will be the Ivorians, who are old and very, very abysmal. But in this game, Mauritania against Algeria, I expect Algeria to take this game. And I will tell you, they are not flying out of the starting blocks. They are not the typical team that you expect. And like I said, because the team has aged 2 more years since the last time we saw them, we've seen that slow them down a bit in terms of mobility and everything. But they still have this this experience in the team that they always look at what they did in their last game. They always dig deep and get whatever result they need. Against Mauritania, I think the Mauritanians will run around. They will play some delightful football. But I expect Algeria to that win, no matter how.
Okay, James, the final game for the day, Angola Burkina Faso. This is going to be a very interesting one. Both sides have 4 points, and a draw will take them to 5 points, and then maybe possibly goals will come in, because if Algeria beat Mauritania, Algeria will also have 5 points. So you might have 3 teams ending with 5 points in that group. Then all of them will certainly qualify. But this is going to be a very, very interesting one.
Yes, it's going to be a very, very interesting one. And I think this is where Burkina Faso will be kicking themselves for not trying hard enough to hold on to their lead against Algeria. They considered in stoppage time. So it's like doing it all. It was a painful draw for them, because that was a game that would have sealed qualification and top spot. But now they have to go into a game where it's still good that they have their destiny in their hands, not as if they are relying on anybody. So I think this is a group where we might have 3 qualifiers. 5 points should be enough for whoever team that finished third. And maybe because we are all, the calculation here now is Algeria should beat Mauritania, and the other teams, at least the one I'm looking at, they are evenly balanced. So a draw might come out from there, which means from this group we might have 3 teams, qualifying from the. Right. But from my fear, Femi, I think I've learned something in this competition, that most of these small teams, they will stress you. So the Algerians should be ready to press, because Mauritanians, they want to go out on a high. And Femi, I know that people will give it to Algeria, but I have my fingers crossed. I don't know what these Mauritanians will bring to this game, because now they are out. They don't have anything. But Femi, they are going to give their all. You think they are playing the final? The Algerians should be ready to battle. It's not going to be a stroll in the park for them.
Yeah.
They are going to work hard. Because most of their experienced players, they just have to have their experience that they've been using for all these years must come to play now. Because anytime we make Martina to score first, Femi, they are ready. You think they want to win the World Cup? They are going to give everything. So Algeria, fine on paper, they will win. But Femi, they are going to sweat.
Okay, of course. So the message from James to Algeria is that they have to watch it. Since I started watching the AFCON, I think this is the most drama-filled, the drama, the goals, the upset, the underdogs. I think this is the best AFCON I've seen so far. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, Femi, it's the AFCON that has sprung up the most surprises. It's the AFCON that you are not too sure of what you are going to get until the final whistle. It's the AFCON where those who we used to call the big boys have struggled. It's the AFCON where new champions are being born every day. It's the AFCON where I think Cape Verde and Equatorial Guinea have actually announced themselves that, yeah, they are here to stay. Whether they are able to sustain this on a long term, we have to wait and see. But they've shown up in the group stage that, and something that struck me watching the Cape Verde Egypt game yesterday, Femi, was after the game, it was Egypt that were celebrating. The Cape Verdeans were kind of disappointed that they played a draw with Egypt. So that is
I saw everyone, all the Egyptian officials on the field celebrating.
In what universe would you have thought that possible? That at the end of a 2-2 game, Egypt will be celebrating, while Cape Verde will feel that they are disappointed that they did not take maximum point. Because even when they equalized that tunic, they still went ahead to look for a winning goal again. They were actually seeking a winning goal. Because when the Egyptian goalkeeper got injured, they were the ones who were hurrying the referee up that they should get the game started again.
They need the third goal.
They wanted to play third goal. So for me, at that point, that was the moment for me that I realized that these Cape Verdeans are not here to joke. It is the mentality, Femi. It is the mentality, the winning mentality. That even though they had players coming, you saw that, okay, the players on the bench are probably as good as the ones who played the first 2 games. That, Femi, is mentality, winning attitude that we're talking about.
All right, sadly, James, I would have wanted you to actually say something, but of course, we still have more days to look at how the AFCON has panned out. We appreciate our fans across the world so far. Thank you so much for all your support. It's still Sport Africa. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Today, interesting matches are going down. Tomorrow, we'll be back with another yesterday at the AFCON, and of course, previewing matches that will be taking place tomorrow. The boys are gradually being separated from the men. We'll see you all tomorrow. I remain Asha Luluafemi. Bye for now.